As of the many years of superhero movies coming out, I've been more into Marvel than DC. While, yes, The Joker is one of my favorite movies of all time, their track record has not been the best. But since Marvel has basically gone down the shitter ever since Endgame, I've really been wanting a good cinematic superhero movie universe, and I think Superman answered my wishes. Now, when it comes down to it, Superman is not a perfect movie, but I believe this is what DC needed to jumpstart their new DCU. And today, I'm going to be going over my overall thoughts on the movie and give my rating at the end, so strap in for that. Now, I'll be getting into spoilers, so click off the video now if you have not watched Superman, but come back because this video is worth a watch. But with all that being said, let's dive in. I honestly believe David Cornswalt and Nicholas Hoult played the perfect Superman and Lex Luthor. First, I want to talk about Superman, then I'll get into Lex because we gotta save best for last. So with Superman, I think they did an overall good job with him. While yes, I didn't enjoy that he basically got bitched in every single fight, it's honestly not that big of a deal to me. Sure, it's kind of weird that Superman is losing all of his fights when, as far as I know, his only real weakness is kryptonite, though I don't read the comics so I could be wrong, but still, it's not a deal breaker. I also really liked how he played both Clark Kent and Superman. The quirkiness and cringiness of Clark weren't overbearing, and it was actually just the right amount. And with Superman, I think he was able to play the role of a hopeful superhero. Superman trusts everyone and wants to save everyone. He even saved a goddamn squirrel because he's that nice of a guy. Now onto Lex Luthor. Oh my gosh, he was perfect. He is literally the perfect Lex Luthor. From what I know, Lex absolutely despises Superman, and Nicholas Hoult nailed that. He is a D1 hater. That scene where Superman barges into Lex's office asking about crypto after they basically kidnapped him, it felt like that monkey versus lion meme. I can't unsee it. And what this movie does right with Lex is that we generally hate the villain. I despise Lex Luthor. Most villains nowadays have some type of backstory that makes us sympathize with them. We still don't want them to win. We still want the hero to win, but we get where they're coming from. But with what James Gunn did here, no. There is no sympathy. I hate Lex Luthor. He does so many awful things, and all of it stems from nothing but envy. He just hates Superman. And honestly, it's kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's so bad to the point where Lex Luthor is literally playing a game of Russian roulette with the Chimichanga stand guy. And honestly, I was kind of expecting either for Lex to go through a bunch of bullets and then kill him, or for Superman to stop him after some time. But no, after the second shot, the guy just dies. He's just dead. And Lex is just like, oh, that was fast. Let me go to the next victim. That moment, felt like a jump scare to me. I wasn't ready, and it actually made me mad. Genuinely got pissed off at Lex Luthor for that. He made me angry, and that's when I knew Hoult nailed the role. One thing I really want to talk about is the CGI. The problem for me is that it just doesn't look real, at all. It's blatantly fake. You don't need perfect vision to see it. It's stupid obvious. And at first, that really threw me off. I was honestly surprised that a big budget movie like this could look that fake in some spots. But here's the weird part about it. It still looked good. Yeah, it's fake, but it wasn't ugly or messy. The animation was clean, the movements looked smooth, and it all looked pretty polished. It's like they weren't going for realism, but more of a comic book style, and it actually worked for what the movie was doing. A good example is the fight with the big kaiju monster. Everything in that scene, from Superman flying around to the monster roaring and smashing stuff, the fire, looked super fake. You don't need 20/20 vision to see it, it looked fake. But it was still really fun to watch. The action was cool, the shots were so well done, and even though I knew it was just all CGI and it looked pretty much like CGI, I was still into it. The lasers, the punches, the explosions, close-up shots looked phenomenal. Fake, yeah, but sick. So overall, even though the CGI was clearly not realistic, it didn't ruin the experience for me. It fit the tone of the movie, and it still looked so clean on screen. I think what this movie does best is set up future projects with the new DCU. While yes, one of the problems is that some characters don't get enough screen time because there's just so much going on, which I'll get into later, I feel like a lot of that is going to be explained in future movies. Two characters I think we'll definitely see more of is Green Lantern and Mr. Terrific. With Green Lantern, we really just got a glimpse of his personality and powers, but that was just enough for me to want more. I loved his character, he was funny, had great energy, and the way they showed off his powers was really cool. I'd love to see his backstory, where he came from, how he got the ring, all of that. And then there's Mr. Terrific. I didn't even know this guy existed before this movie, but now I'm excited to see more of him. His powers were awesome, and like Green Lantern, they did a great job showing off his personality, even in a short amount of time. That's something this movie really nails. It gives us a bunch of characters, and even though they aren't fully developed yet, they are interesting, and I'm generally curious about the whole cast. I want to see more of the Daily Planet. I think that's what they're called, the little journalism place. That's what I'm talking about. Honestly, I'd love a mini-series just about that. It'd be so much fun to watch. I want to see more of Lex Luther. I want to learn more about Superman's backstory. I just want to see more of everyone. And that's what the movie does best. It introduces a ton of characters in a way that makes me want to learn more about them. Sure, they don't get a ton of development yet, which is a bit of a problem, but it makes me excited for what's to come next. I hope future movies take the time to really explore who these characters are, where they came from, and what makes them important in this universe. I think the biggest problem, and really the only major issue I have with this movie, is that so much happens in such a short amount of time. A great example is the whole part where Superman is trapped in this pocket dimension by some elemental guy with the kryptonite hand. While that's going on, Lois Lane and Mr. Terrific are trying to find him. Then you've got the guy who's secretly dating Lex Luthor's girlfriend gathering information. On top of that, there's the two governments going at it. Then you have Lex Luthor just being himself. There's just a lot happening all at once. It gets to a point where I can only care about so much at the same time. It kind of overwhelms you. Some scenes are paced really well, but others feel super rushed, like they just want to move on to the next scene. I think that's a bit of a problem. It doesn't give some moments the time they need to hit properly. I think the moment that I felt the pacing issue the most was during the scene with Superman and his non-biological dad. They were having this emotional moment, and it was really starting to hit. But then suddenly, his mom just comes in like, "Hey Clark, look, something's happening at Metropolis," and boom, we're in the next scene. Well, yeah, I think they handled the emotional part of the moment really well. It just felt way too short. I don't think we were really giving enough time to feel what both Clark and his dad were really feeling. It wasn't long enough for me to feel a tear coming in, or even just feel the emotional weight of it. That being said, it's not terrible or anything. It's definitely not as messy as other movies I've seen, but yeah, the pacing could have been handled better, especially with how much they tried to fit in. Overall, I think this movie does exactly what it needs to do. It's a Superman movie, and it sets up future DCU projects in such an exciting way. Now, of course, it's not a perfect film. There are still some issues with the pacing, how much they try to cram in, and yeah, the CGI definitely looks a little too fake at times. Not that big of a problem for me. I think it actually was better that way, but still. And then Superman being bitched. Superman could have won at least one fight, but even with all of that, I think they did this movie justice. They did Superman justice, and honestly, I just can't wait to see what this new DC universe has in store for us. Now for my rating, I'm giving Superman a solid 9 out of 10. But what did you think of the movie? I've seen a lot of mixed opinions. Some people loved it, others absolutely just despised it. So I want to hear from you. Did you like it or despise it? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And with all that being said, thank you all for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. And with all that being said, noches.